Hi, I'm Joe Scacciaferro, and this is Roadcase Stories. Okay, so as we all know, the best stories are always shared sitting on road cases, either backstage, in the wings, or on the loadout deck. That's why we were so clever when we named the series Roadcase Stories. So this week, our host, J3, has corralled another of music industry's FOH royalty, Bryan Worthen. Bryan is legendary front of house audio engineer who started touring in 1988. I was 3 and hasn't stopped since. I wasn't 3. He's worked with monster acts. So many that I have a list, and I'm just going to let J3 go through it. So it's long. Crazy long. Here's how Wallflowers, Matchbox 20, Go-Go's, Blink, Jimmy. I mean, I just went through this. Foo Fighters, Biscuit. I was like, come on. Doesn't anybody else get a chance to work?
It's wild.
This can't be real. That's not real.
All right. So enough of me grabbing the spotlight. Let's welcome the host of Roadcase Stories, John Allen, better known as J3, and his guest, Bryan. All right, boys. I'm going to jump backstage, grab a road case, and do what I do best is hang out and do nothing.
Grab a case.
And I'll see you at the break.
All right. Here we are. First of all, Bryan, thank you very much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
It's awesome. My pleasure. One of the things I met Bryan when Struts were opening for Foo Fighters, and I had no idea that he had done 100 million bands. I figured, he's been with Foo Fighters for 17 years, right? So he's only been doing them and maybe one other band, and then you get the list, and I'm like, Jesus. And there's a lot of big bands up there, probably at a lot of crucial times in their careers. I guess my first question to start off before we get to fun stories is kind of your beginning path. Like, were you in the shop? Were you doing some other job and sort of transitioned into sound, or was it always sound? And how did you sort of get from there to being a front of house in the beginning?
Well, it wasn't always sound, but so my dad's neighbors, his name was Tom Casey, and his partner, George Blake, owned a sound company in Phoenix, and they lived down the street, and I would see him pulling big speaker boxes out of the garage every now and again. Didn't really pay much attention to it. And then one day I went riding by on my bike, and they were like, "Hey, come here." And so I went over there and like, "Hey, can you help us carpet these boxes?" And I was like,
"Help us do work."
Carpet? What? And then I noticed in the corner were big boxes of big speakers. To me, they were huge at the time. They were 15-inch JBLs. And they were like, "Yeah, and then you'll help us load these speakers into these big boxes." And I was like, "Killer, okay." And that's kind of where. And then, so George Blake also worked. He was the house guy at Celebrity Theater, and so he kind of got me a gig there. And so I was doing shows with them, with that sound company, and then I was doing shows at Celebrity Theater, and then I kind of just gravitated towards lights for some reason.
Interesting.
So I did that for a little while. I worked for the world famous Scotty Holthouse for a little while. He still claims he's the first one to ever fire me, but he never fired me. He still says that to this day.
That's funny.
And then I moved back to Tucson, and that's where I met a guy named Tommy from Rat, and he was part owners of a company here called Magnum, and that's how I got my Rat connection.
Interesting.
And then my first part of touring as a sound guy was with Dave Rat. But before that, how I even got into mixing was there was a punk rock club here called Mudbugs. And I got a phone call from the owner, Mark Oliver, one night and said, "Hey, my sound guy just quit. Can you mix sound?" And I said, "Sure.
Yeah.
Why not?" And I went
Put
in.
these speakers in these boxes for me.
And my first tour after that was 3 months, 4 months after I started at Mudbugs with a band that played at Mudbugs a lot called Fall from Grace.
Oh wow.
And that's how it. So,
And did you with Dave Rat, was he taking you as like an assistant, or were you doing other bands,
no,
or
so he was doing my first tour with him was he was doing front house for L7,
Mhm.
and I came in and did monitors, and
got it.
that tour was uh L7, Melvins, and Wool. And we carried a Rat monitor rig, and I ended up doing monitors for all three bands,
All of them. Wow.
all of them.
That's a long day.
It's a very, very long day.
Jeez.
And I came home very hard of hearing.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
That is, old school, everybody blessed. I'm sure the side fills were
Yeah. Yeah.
painful,
And at
loud.
that point, other than Motorhead, when I experienced Motorhead at Concrete Foundation 91 or 90, I think. I don't remember what year it
Got it.
was. That was the loudest thing I've ever heard in my life until I
Jeez.
went to work for Melvins.
there's always there's always another level out there
There's
somewhere. Like
always one level up.
you think you're at the top.
Yeah.
Before I ask you about specific bands, just because for my selfish wanting to know, so you go down the line. When did you, whether voluntarily or um, involuntarily, make the switch from analog to digital once you were touring?
Involuntarily, 2005.
Wow. Was it
So
Profiles at that point? What were you?
no. So the deal Foo management called me and said, "Hey, I think we need to go digital."
Make it
Uh,
lighter.
and I was like, "Ah, really?" Because back then, that whole idea was to make front of houses smaller. Everyone
Yeah,
share a console, so there's not multiple consoles, which has never worked out for anybody.
of course not. Still doesn't.
Um, and so that was, we could sell more tickets idea, which no. Anyway, so they said we should go digital, and I was like, okay, well, maybe it's time to make the step, even though I didn't want to. And so we pulled in a couple consoles with the band in rehearsals, and the best one for me visually and audibly, because it actually did sound good,
Yeah.
was the Audix D5.
Wow.
And because the Audix D5 was visually analog, my brain
Got
was
it.
like everything
It was
else.
like,
My
oh
brain
yeah,
was like, no, no, I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
handle the one screen that's this big. I
Yeah.
just can't. I
And
can't
the
do that.
menus, I
I have
that
to
makes
see
two of them
everything going on as it's going on.
at the same time, like
Yeah.
like a real board.
Yeah. And it sounded really good. Those Digiracks sounded great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you end up on. Did you go to SD5 after that, or was there something in between?
No, I went SD5. No, I went SD7 after that.
SD7.
And the SD7s, I went through quite a few of them. I had some problems. And um I ended up
But it's
in
digital. It's perfect.
yeah, so they
Yeah.
say, right? But no.
Yeah. So they say.
There was So it got to the point where I had to have management stand behind me, and it was at the Bercy in Paris. And I told him specifically, stand behind me. You can stay there for the first 30 seconds of the first song. I don't care. But I want you to hear what this console has been doing to me.
Yeah.
And what it was doing was, it was even indoors in an arena, it was making it sound like I was in a windstorm.
Wow.
And his jaw was on the floor. And I said, "Can I have my XL4 back?" And he said, "How about tomorrow?"
Yeah. How
So
about yesterday?
I did
Yeah.
go back to the XL4 for a while. And then the SD5 came out at the same time as the Sound City thing. And I couldn't,
Yeah.
there's no way I could do that show on an analog console. There
Yeah.
was
It was just too
many
many
inputs.
inputs. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's where there's a plus side to it. I basically, once I started touring, it was all digital. So it was really painful because I went from, hey, I know analog, I can mix, I can plug stuff in, I know where the gain is, and then it was like, boom, find the high pass, see if it does anything, see if you can see the right screen, see if it blows up.
See if it blows up.
See if it blows
See if
up.
it phases everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
But there's another part of that too, like with PA systems, not just consoles, but PA systems. When they, the first line arrays were all driven analog, and then as
Right.
it evolved, and then became more and more digital, and then finally, eventually, 100% digital, you heard the differences, and it was really frustrating in that process to going 100% digital.
I mean, I remember, when as a house guy, I had these Crown Macrotechs that I kept like refurbing because all the new amps that they wanted to buy me, I was like, these fucking suck. Like, I don't want. And I had this guy who was like, I can rebuild these as long as I can find the parts, and he just kept doing it. But yeah, it's frustrating, and to like sort of tie that up, you're pretty much the reason that I ever went to Yamaha at all, because I heard the Rivage every night when we were with Foos, and I was like, he's got no outboard gear. It sounds absolutely fantastic night in and night out. It looks like it makes sense. You know what I mean?
It totally makes sense.
And it took me years to get to the point, like budget wise and availability wise. COVID made it real difficult to get any of the PM5s especially, and to be there now, it's like, I'm like, oh, there it is. Like, I almost feel it's not an analog desk, but I'm like, this is as close as it's comfortable here, and it sounds really good.
It is. It's as analog sounding as you're gonna get.
Yeah.
100%.
Especially with those Neve input. Woo! Come on.
Yep.
Awesome. So
have you tried the new Neve, the digital Neve inputs?
No, we had the RPIO with the silk input.
Now Neve has via Dante Neve input cards. Not for the Yamaha. No. They work with any console.
With anything. No, I have not.
And people are I have a buddy who has bought a lot of them because they're
awesome.
Yeah. They're super awesome. However, if you use them with a Yamaha, you don't have silk control.
Right.
That's the only bummer.
Yeah.
But I won't give up the silk control. Not a chance.
Yeah. It was, I recently did a gig where we were just on, we didn't have the Neve racks. It was on a cruise. So it's PM5, and I was like, oh man, there's a significant difference. Like it sounded good, but it was like my whole mix, Yeah. It changed pretty wildly.
Yeah.
All right. I want to ask questions. We can keep this brief. about specific bands that I had no idea that you did until you sent me that list, which is the other thing. Like, we've gone all this time, almost 9 or 10 years, and I was like, he's done, Limp and Foo Fighters, and then I get all this other stuff. Fishbone, when and how was it? Yeah, one of my favorite bands ever in the history of time.
1996, 97. They were amazing and a nightmare at the same time.
It seems chaos. It seems like chaos.
It's
like
100% chaos all the time.
All the time.
All the time. It's what you see on stage. It doesn't stop when it's off stage. And I had
that.
My version of Fishbone was Angelo Norwood, JB, Fish, and Dury
Is this when Norwood went to like the commune or whatever? Didn't he like find God or something?
No, that happened before. That happened in like 87, 88. Something like that. My great friend Dougie, who's no longer with us, worked with them back then up until when I was with them, and he was a part of the group of people that tried to break him out of the cult.
I remember the story. I was like, "What's going on?" He joined the. Well, one quick story. We like basically we went to Lollapalooza when I want to say it was 93. And Rage was the opening act, and we all wanted to see Rage. It was the first album, and they were screwing up the tickets, and they couldn't get people in, so everybody just kind of jumped over the fence and ran for the stage, including myself. And we get out there, and Rage was insane, and they were at war with the festival because they were double charging for T-shirts and all this shit. And I'm like, who is going to – and Fishbone was after them. I'm like, who's going to follow this? Like, this is the most insane thing. And Fishbone ripped it. I mean, like, it was killer.
Yeah.
It was absolutely killer.
And then wasn't it, who was after Fishbone?
I have to look it up because I
Tribe Called, was it Tribe Called Quest?
No, I never saw them, unfortunately. Also a huge fan. I'd have to look it up. Because one of those shows was like Alice in Chains, Primus. They might have been at the beginning of that show, and then L7 was on one of those shows too. As a matter of fact, I mean,
L7 was on 94 Lollapalooza.
I saw Tool on a B stage with like 5 people when Undertow came out. Nobody knew who they were. It was the middle of the day, and one of those people was Joan Jett. Just standing there, and they come on, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And she's like, oh my God. They're just standing there like in the dirt, and it was Waterloo, Joe. It was out in Jersey. Oh my God. Okay. It was killer. That's
amazing.
So moving on. Deftones.
Yes.
When? Amazing.
Amazing. Chaos. Living with them on the bus is not easy, and they know that. It's 24/7, or was back then. And I had I was lucky to have Chi.
Mm-hmm.
Chi was great. Chi was my buddy.
That's such a crazy.
Yeah. It's a crazy story. But they were awesome. It was Warped Tour 98. That was my first tour sober also. Yeah. So I figured if I could get through that.
You can get through anything. Yeah.
I can do it.
I got to meet. Yeah.
But
I got to meet.
They were so fun to mix though.
Killer band.
Amazingly. They were so good back
like
then.
His vocal is just like something. It's not like anything else in the world. Like it's like this guy is like, ooh.
No. I don't know how it is now, but he used to run. So we used to have 3 57s. He used to sing in the 57s, and he had 3 57s in a switcher box with a. And as he'd break them, he would just switch and grab the next one, break that one, and grab. And we would send literally 25 to
Just sending them
30
back.
57s a week back to Shure.
Fix these. I was lucky enough to meet him through Tommy Lee when I was playing guitar for Tommy Lee, and he
Right.
was on both of the solo albums. And when I joined the band, I had to sing his parts. I had to do all kinds of stuff. I had to play Steve Lukather's guitar parts while I'm singing Chino's. And I'd be like, Tommy, like, what are the lyrics to this? He's like, there's no lyrics. I'm like, so it's literally, he's like, yep.
It's just
that's what it is.
Melody. That's all it is.
And he came, we had him come back for the record that I actually played on with Tommy, did a bunch of my songs, and they had, I'm like, Tommy, we got to finish this song. This is incredible. I'll send it to you. But he comes over, the engineer had left, and it was right when they decided to play again, because they had, it was right before Diamond Eyes hadn't been, they were not sure if they were going to play anymore. And he's like, we get done with the session and it does all this stuff and he sings incredible and we get it all down. And I'm like engineering half of it, which is insane. It's like me and Tommy and him. And he goes, hey, he's like, I have the new record. And we're like, what new record? He's like Deftones, like we're doing it. Like Cheese Family said, like it was cool and he would want us to carry on. We got a guy. We're like, can we hear it? He's like, yeah. So he runs out to the car and he gets a boombox that he recorded it on in the garage. Like, and he brings it in and the boom is cranking fucking boombox. It was loud as fucking. He puts it on the SSL and he's like, but there's no vocals. We didn't do because it was just the music. And we're like, oh, and he's like, but I'll sing them for you. So he was going to sing them live. Like he didn't want to plug into anything. He's like, give me a 58. So I went and got him a 58 and he performed Diamond Eyes from beginning to end in front of us in Tommy's control room.
Wow.
It was fucking incredible. It was incredible. And the album was a great album. Like it was just like, so that really special to
great
me.
Album.
He's like, just get me Modelo's. I'm like, no problem. I just kept handing him third song. Him and Tommy got in an argument about like some really off time shit they were doing. He's like, you can't do that. It'll throw the kids in the pit off. He's like, there's no rules. And they're like, okay. I mean, just incredible. So I love them. Love that guy.
Yeah.
Next. Still
they were incredible.
Yeah.
Stop. Chair.
I'm coming in.
Yeah.
I'm coming in.
Stop.
Okay. I tried to find that pause, but I got caught listening. I guess that's what happens. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
All right.
Short and sweet, Silverchair.
Yeah. I did monitors for them.
Monitors?
Yeah, not front of house. They had their own guy for a long time. And so I came in and did monitors. And that was another via Rat Sound job.
Interesting.
Because Johnny Monsoon had done monitors for them before. And he didn't want to go on. He didn't want to tour anymore. So.
And they were kids, right? I mean, they were
kids.
They were young, like 15 years old.
99, I think they
were probably older at that point.
21, 22,
Still
maybe.
Young.
Yeah. Yeah, super fun. Great band. Super great.
Next. Taking a big left turn.
Uh-oh.
You can do them together because like I know you as like this heavy rock. You're like this heavy rock guy, right?
Okay.
Go-Go's And Christopher Cross.
monitors for Go-Go's. For their first time on in-ears.
Oh my God.
Gina lasted 30 seconds. She said if I want to listen to an iPod, I'd listen to an iPod.
That's
So we had to replace it and bring in a drum fill.
that's incredible.
Belinda, because she had a career outside of Go-Go's, already was used to these
Had already
ones. So
kind of done it. Yeah.
she was easy to, yeah. But they were awesome, super fun. That was a great tour. That was the Go-Go's, Berlin, and Lunatics.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That was super fun. Terry Nunn's awesome. Incredible band.
I don't want to get sidetracked on it, but it's another thing that maybe we can touch on another show is transitioning an artist at whatever level from speakers to in-ears. Let me know how it goes.
Matchbox was the hardest one.
Oh my God.
So I was doing monitors for Matchbox. Then they fired the front of house guy. Then I did front of house for them for a while. And then they decided to go, well, they didn't decide. Someone else decided they were going in-ears. And I was the only one with experience. So I went back to monitors. I had 2 XL4s full of inputs, 22 mixes, until they took away all the wedges except for 2 emergency wedges under the drum fill for Rob. And that was the beginning of in-ears. So I had to sit literally 4 hours a day. 4 hours, the beginning of my day was sitting there trying to find frequencies that worked.
Yeah.
Literally
Wireless.
4 hours a day. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, and for them it was not an easy transition because they were used to such a loud stage
big
volume.
loud stage. Yeah. And now it's like me.
Yeah.
That's one thing I get thrown on gigs and it's like, oh yeah, just bring it up. Like I hate wireless. I don't want anything that I don't know.
Keep it.
You can have it. Thank God my singer's on a hardwire. That's all. Christopher Cross, real quick. That's also like totally out of the.
Christopher Cross was a weird one. That came out of nowhere on me. I came home from a Blink tour. I was in the Rat Shop in Tucson.
We need a guy
working on something, and my phone rings. And this guy goes, quick story. This guy goes, he goes, hey, is this Bryan Worthen Jr.? And I go, yeah. Not many people call me that outside the rat world.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. He goes, well, my name is Chris Cross, and I'm looking for a front house guy, and I got your number from John at Rat. And I was like, okay, what was your name? And he said Chris Cross. And I was just like, what? And he goes, Chris Cross. And I go, okay, like Christopher Cross? And he goes, yeah.
Like sailing?
Hold on. Yeah. So I'm thinking John Munson's playing a joke on me because we used to play jokes on each other a lot back then.
Oh my God.
And I was like, all right, well, if you're Christopher Cross, sing Sailing. And he did. Sailing takes me away to where I've always heard it.
I don't believe you.
And it was him. I was like, oh my God, it's you. And I went down and did a bunch of Mexico shows with him.
That is, I'm glad I asked because that's really funny. Okay, so I think we can. Do you want to say anything about Blink? I mean, you spent a lot of time with Blink. Everybody seems to love Blink. I loved them. Maybe
that
not.
That had a D on it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, depends on what you want to know.
I guess more like because
I
your
did Blink
resume.
in the fun days.
Yeah.
I had the fun days, which
Because I saw them a little bit later on, but it was still like mid 2000s maybe. And they seemed like they were like a really loose 3-piece bar band for like a band that was as big as they were.
yeah,
It was very like,
yeah,
reminded me
yeah.
of my cover band. They're just making jokes and you
Yeah.
know,
And they got away with it, and they got
yeah,
big doing it. You know,
yeah,
the only thing that you could count on was Travis every
yeah,
night.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. I think I saw him play. He was playing with a broken foot, and everybody was like, "Oh, we don't know if there's going to be a show." And I was like, "I I can't
he
tell."
he had done that before. We were in Australia, and he slipped off a curb and broke his ankle. So he switched it up and played the whole tour left-footed, which not many people know that
Because he just
Travis
did it.
is left-handed and left-footed, but he plays righty because when he learned drums in school, they wouldn't switch the kit.
They would.
So for him to play left-footed, and you couldn't even tell the difference. Like you
That's
couldn't
ins-
tell.
that's insane.
He just had to wrap his mind around it. So we ended up loading in, I think it was in Melbourne. We loaded in a day early, and they went through all the songs with him playing left-footed, and it was like he's like, I got this. They played him once, and that was it.
That's totally insane.
And I don't remember what year that was. That was like 2001 or two, something like that.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's
But
so funny
even
when you hear
Mark,
like,
like they
yeah,
were so loosey goosey. Like Mark would say to me at the end of shows, sometimes you're like, I didn't play one note all night. Isn't that funny? Like, no, it's not funny. It's funny now.
like he thinks you'll get a kick out of it. I just went, bleh. Oh my god. Okay, before we get to like us and Foos, I want you to tell because this is really funny, and I forgot to bring it up to you. We're on the phone one day, and you're like, "Yeah, so I go to this Mexican restaurant all the time by my house, and it turns out that the owner was like Jimi Hendrix's sound guy. Do you remember this?"
Yeah.
And we couldn't figure out who that was. And I was like, who is that? And you're like, I don't know. And we kind of went back and forth. And I dug and I dug and I dug.
I dug too, because I went down that rabbit hole for a while. I could not. So,
And I'm like, I'm looking it up like, because I know about Hendrix. Like, I was like, I never really see like a front of house guy like credited per se in anything that I've ever read.
I did find there's a picture of Jimi Hendrix and the Experience on the side of the highway in Tucson,
Yeah.
and the sound guy is standing in the background. And that's the guy who I knew that owned the Mexican restaurant, but I could never find the connection.
Name. Yeah.
I could never find the connection. There was no connection to that. The only connection he had that I could find was all the analog shit that he invented. That was it.
And then we figured out kind of at the same time that it was Roger Mayer. And
Yeah.
my brain went, poof.
I believe that's who it was.
Who basically designed all of Jimmy's pedals. And when
Yep.
Seymour Duncan made the first set that wasn't Fender to go in his Strat, Roger mixed the shows.
Yeah.
It's like, it's fucking insane.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was the guy who owned the Mexican restaurant.
It's gotta be.
It has to be, right?
Oh my god.
Everything's weird in this business, so it has to be that guy.
um. So you and I finally meet because the Struts, which is the band that I've been with for 10 years now, um, get the gig opening for Foo Fighters, which started with like a couple of shows. Um, well, I believe it started. The band didn't believe it, but we were playing 930 Club in DC, and it was very sold out. And you know, they have the cupcakes, the 930 cupcakes, which are like the
Yeah.
most like psychotic espresso
Yeah.
chocolate
Yep.
frosting cupcakes ever made.
Yep.
And I
Floating
was
cupcakes.
my little ritual, because we had played there so many times, was like, I'm gonna pour myself a little shot. I'm gonna get my cupcake. I'm gonna go down in front of the house, and in half an hour we're gonna go on.
Yep.
So I kept, and we were pretty like, we had a big buzz at this point. It was very sold out. There were people trying to like break the doors down. And so I'm like about to leave the room, and the band's getting ready. It's like 25 minutes. And then there's a big knock at the door, like right as I have my shit. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And I put my stuff down and I open the door, and it's Dave Grohl by himself. And he's like, hey, can I come in? I'm like,
No.
no, the floor is yours. And so he goes in and he's hanging out with the band, and the band goes on, and we had a killer show, you know. And I see him, he's like up on the third story, like rafters, like just banging his head the whole show. And I had it loud, like I was going for it.
Yeah.
And then he comes back after. And we were loading out and doing shit, but the band's up there with him for like an hour and a half. And they got rid of it, I think, to do Atlantis, but they had the speakeasy in the bottom of 930. And they'd always be like, hey, if you're on the crew, you can go down and have drinks. And they, had a little bar, and it was awesome. And so we go down there, and finally the band comes down, and they're like, oh, we met Dave Grohl. And I'm like, well, how was it? And he's like, oh, it's really great, da 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 da. And he's like, can't believe he wanted to talk to us. And I'm like, he's not trying to talk to you, he's trying to hire you. He's trying to do. I'm like, mark my words. It wasn't even like 5 months later that they gave us a week, I think, originally. Like,
Right.
we'll give you guys a week on the tour. That's what we knew anyway.
And Taylor wasn't with him?
No, not that night. He was
Weird.
with some other guy. He was down there for. Now, I think the thing that we talked about where Luke went and jammed with Chevy Metal, that had already happened. So Taylor had like kind of talked to Dave. Dave was in town. Dave was like, I got to go see this band. Maybe they're, because they were still finishing Concrete and Gold up, I think, is what was happening.
Yeah, I think that's probably how it happened.
But then, we happened to be on Summer Sonic with them, and then we did Cal Jam, which was a disastrous show for me, but we'll skip that. And then, like I mean, don't even get me started. But after that, like, here we are on tour, and I don't know if it was day one, but like you were very, as you are, as I know you now, you were very kind and cool and chill and helpful. And over time, we sort of, it sort of grew beyond that. It was like my first time when I was on a huge tour as a front of house to meet another one that was like actively helping me, I suppose. Right. And just being cool as opposed to like, get your shit out of here, fucking strike this shit.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to only have to deal with a couple of those over time.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's been pretty cool, like my whole career. You know what I mean? There was a few that kind of fucked with me, but I succeeded, and so they had a different outlook on me. Yeah. But that's who I am. I'm friendly to anybody who comes in, and I want to be helpful. if you're having an issue, I want to I want to help
Help.
it,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because we're all there, to for one
Trying
reason.
to have a good show, right? We're all trying to have a good show.
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
and it's something that I took forward. I mean, I think the Struts learned, the band and the whole crew learned so much from just the Foo experience that
Right.
we took that forward when we were headlining and carrying a band or two. That, this is my responsibility to make sure you have a good show. It's also my responsibility to make sure you don't come out and mix at 115 dB, as the first opening act in the theater, which has happened.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, bro, that's
Yep.
what the lake is for, but I'm going to ask you for.
Yeah.
um, a couple, like, because I know we're probably running short on time, but it was a great experience for us. I know you were pretty tight with Taylor. I wanted to ask you about, because I remember that you had video screens at front of house of Taylor,
Yeah.
and it's not
My
something
Taylor,
I'd ever really.
my
I'd
Taylor
never seen
cam.
anybody
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I'd never seen anybody do that before. Is there a specific reason? Was he
The reason why I
messaging you?
had my Taylor cam, I had a Taylor cam, and he tried everything in his power to get rid of it because he doesn't like close up shots, right?
Mhm.
Whatever. He was funny like that, but it took a lot of convincing that camera was only going to me. That's it. And he was like,
Right.
okay,
It's not
well,
going on the screens.
I'll let you have it. My reason for it was the shot on the cam was when he's singing into the microphone,
Right. Right.
right?
Because he sang a lot. Yeah.
Because from afar, I can't see that far. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
That makes
to
sense. So you
know
know
when
when to open
he's
up his vocal mic.
to
Yeah.
when
Or
I
he's going to
open up
talk.
his vocal mic, right? So when I can see in detail if he's actually even singing as well. Because
I didn't
you
play a
know what
single
it's
note.
like with an open vocal mic behind a drum kit, especially
Yep.
somebody who hits hard like
Who's hits
Taylor did.
as hard as that. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah. You
it's
can't,
it's not
you,
fun.
you're not leaving that open for the whole. No,
It's
no, no,
not
no.
fun. So
It's on.
that's why I had the
That
Taylor cam. So
that
I
makes a lot
could
of sense.
capture his vocals when they needed to be captured.
And
Yeah.
shut him off.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Another favorite couple favorite moments. One was a recording that you made for me. We were playing Dancing in the Dark, which.
Do you have that?
Oh
I sent
yeah,
it
I
to
have
you.
it.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you did. Oh, I save everything,
yeah.
and I have a picture of it too, which is even better. That goes like. But the band was taking it pretty seriously, like, oh, this is like they were doing the whole thing from the video, like bringing a girl up from the stage, some little kid to come and dance with Luke. So they were running over it, and here comes Taylor. He's like, no, 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 I'm doing Bruce, and he did this like really like campy. And of course, so my console's going through Brian's console, and he's just like, record, like just it is just absolute solid gold. And somehow our photographer took a pic. It was a classic picture of Luke and Taylor together, but you see Taylor just kind of coming over and grabbing the mic away from Luke, and Luke's like, really? He's like, yeah, that, and obviously Under Pressure. So was really special for us for a bunch of reasons. But Joe, so Taylor was a huge Queen fan, and he would come into our dressing room and talk about Queen, 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 just for hours. And they would do Under Pressure, and Taylor would jump off the kit and be David Bowie, and they would have Luke Spiller, our singer, would be Freddie Mercury, and Dave Grohl would go play drums. And that was like a really, like, again, I have photographic proof. Like Dave's like a little kid back there, like, yeah, I got to bash the drums again after like running around. But it was every night that this happened, and it was a really, it was a huge thing for us because it wasn't like, oh, you got your set is done. It's like, no, they love us. They love us enough to bring us back for one. That was a really cool thing. And the two of them just running around with the mics.
Oh yeah. Did he ever do Somebody to Love with us, with Foos? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That might have come along later. That was really good too. Taylor nailed that song, like so good. Yeah.
And it was such an unusual thing to have the drummer come out, you know. Obviously we know he had his solo records, but he was just such a Dave would be like, all right, what kind of bullshit are you throwing at me tonight? Like,
yep. Oh yeah, it was always something different.
So good, man.
But there was also the roadie band recording as well.
Yes,
that was good too.
In
Tampa,
yep, with my mom in the crowd for sound check. My mother and my aunt. And so to back up real quick, they had the Foo Fighters didn't really sound check. Taylor would come out and mess on the drums, but they would never come out and play. And so the whole crew band would come out and play a few songs, and they played all kinds of songs, but they never had a singer apparently, or at least not on this tour. And they were kind of frustrated about it. And one day I'm in catering and Yeti's there. That was Taylor's drum tech. And he goes, you know, he just leans over. It's like the Foo's table and the Struts table. He leans over. He's like, you know, there's 80 people, really loud too, in front of all kinds of people. There's 80 people on my fucking crew, and I've asked everybody to sing, and none of these motherfuckers will get up and sing a single song. And I'm like, that's terrible. He goes, will you sing with us? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay. He's like, be on stage in an hour. And I'm like, oh shit, like I'm setting up at the same time. It was this whole thing when, and it was like crazy songs. It was I Want a New Drug by Huey Lewis. It was Oh What a Night, which my mother loved because she's Frankie Valli, till she dies. So that was like magic. And then a Foo's song, and they had me doing it, different White Limo most of the time where I'm just screaming. But so of course Bryan records it, and there's also some video that I got from from Wisdom. Some of the other guys are like filming on a few of the shows, but that was just a really, really fun thing to do. I was honored to be asked. I tried not to let it.
No, we were honored.
Oh, come on.
This is where I break in.
That's it. Pull them out.
I wish I didn't have to fucking stop this. This is great, but I do. Bryan, anytime you want to come back,
it's a good time.
We would love to have you back. There's a ton of stories here. As long as the tornadoes don't hit Florida and Arizona, I think we're.
Yeah, I'm still. Hey, I didn't
You're
get
still
pulled
there.
out. I didn't
You're
have to
still
go to
there.
the bathtub. I have to go to the bathtub.
I guess people around the country will understand what that means, but it's bizarre for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bizarre for New York. Yeah.
All right, my brothers, thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Awesome.
I really
Brian.
appreciate
Thank
sharing.
you.
That's just great stuff. And it's even for those I've been in this thing for a long ass time, and I just still love these stories. They're just great.
Oh, that's just 1%.
I know.
The tip
And
of the iceberg.
that's why
Yeah.
I said we definitely got to get back
Yeah.
and do more.
Yeah, we'll do this again. Now I know I can do this on my iPad. Yeah,
All right,
let's
cuz.
do it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right.